What's up, football fans? Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the biggest moments and breakdowns in the NFL. Today, we're talking about the Green Bay Packers crushing wildcard loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. From a fumbled opening kickoff to critical injuries and costly penalties, it was a night to forget for Green Bay. But what went wrong? Let's break it all down right now. It all started with a nightmare moment on the very first play of the game. Nixon fumbled the opening kickoff, handing the Eagles an easy touchdown and a 7-0 lead just seconds into the game. Talk about setting the tone, and not in a good way. Head coach Matt LaFleur didn't hold back in his post-game comments, calling it a bad tone setter, and emphasizing how crucial it is to avoid mistakes like that, especially in the playoffs. I mean, how often do you see a fumble on the opening kickoff in an NFL playoff game? The last time was way back in 2001. As if the fumble wasn't bad enough, the Packers were hit hard by injuries throughout the game. Left guard Elgton Jenkins went out in the first quarter with a stinger. Defensive tackle Devontae Wyatt followed shortly after with a lower leg injury. And things only got worse from there. Receivers Romeo Doubs and Jaden Reed were both sidelined. Doubs with a potential concussion and Reed with a shoulder injury. Now, when your key players are dropping like flies, the replacements need to step up. But for Green Bay, those replacements struggled under the pressure. Rookie linemen Travis Glover and Kadeem Telfort, who stepped in for Jenkins, were flagged for multiple penalties. Even veteran Sean Ryan had to shuffle around positions when center Josh Myers went out with a leg injury. Coach LaFleur acknowledged the injuries, but didn't want to use them as an excuse. He said, "It's a next man up mentality. There's a standard of performance, and it's our job as coaches to make the necessary adjustments." But let's be honest, with so many moving pieces, it's hard to maintain that standard when the game plan is falling apart. And then there's the offense. After a rough first half, the Packers tried to mount a comeback late in the game. But this play right here, Jordan Love's fourth down pass to Malik Heath, who couldn't get both feet inbounds, pretty much summed up the night. It was just that kind of game for Green Bay. Heath was only on the field because of the injuries to Doubs and Reed, and while it's hard to blame him entirely, moments like these show just how much the Packers were scrambling to fill gaps. Speaking of scrambling, Jordan Love had a tough night. Despite insisting that his sore throwing elbow wasn't a factor, Love threw 3 interceptions. Pair that with an offense that just couldn't get going in the first half, and you've got a recipe for disaster. Running back Josh Jacobs was a bright spot, though, accounting for 121 of Green Bay's 302 total yards and scoring their only touchdown. But even he admitted we were flat, hurting ourselves with penalties and bad decisions. And that brings us to another killer for the Packers: penalties. 8 flags for 85 yards, including 2 personal fouls late in the game. One on Nixon and another on TJ Slayton for a late hit. These weren't just penalties, they were momentum killers. LaFleur and the players know it. Josh Jacobs summed it up best. Against good teams, you can't make as many mistakes. It just can't happen. In the end, the Packers just couldn't overcome their own mistakes, injuries, and a red-hot Eagles team. It was a disappointing end to a season filled with highs and lows. And while this loss hurts, it also raises some big questions. Where do the Packers go from here? So Packers fans, I want to hear from you. Was this loss just bad luck with the injuries, or do the Packers need to address deeper issues in the offseason? And what about Jordan Love? Do you still believe he's the guy to lead this team moving forward? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Despite the loss, let's not forget the great moments the Packers gave us this season. There's plenty to build on, and with the right moves, they could come back stronger next year. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.